normally I bring out my whole family together, but this year I am going to start with my dad all the way from his home in New Hampshire and his fresh positive COVID test. Please welcome Larry Myers, everybody. Give it up for Larry!
Hi.
How are you? Now, I know you do not have any symptoms. Are you still feeling okay?
Yeah, it's kind of like being busted, disgusted, and untrusted when you get a positive COVID test. But there's two good things about it, three, I guess. The first is that I don't have any symptoms, and the second is that I did test negative today, so I'm going to be catching up with you guys over the weekend. And the most important is that even though this is like you being in the attic when you did the show, I don't have to look at the sea captain.
Yeah, that's true. You've always been very anti-sea captain. Let's bring some of the sea captain supporters out. My mom, Hillary Myers, and my brother, John Myers. So first of all, cheers, everybody.
Oh,
cheers. Do you have your drinks?
Oh, I got a drink right here.
There you go. Cheers. Lovely to be with you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And Mom, be honest, when Dad said he tested positive, did you think about staying at home in New Hampshire with him?
No.
Dad, were you surprised how quickly she left?
Oh, no, not at all. Actually, anytime that I get a little bit under the weather, the first thing I do is hide the car keys because I'm always worried that she'll put me in a home.
That's very wise. Now, I don't know about you, Josh, but, you know, when I heard Dad tested positive, that meant that Mom was going to come here and get 3 days with just us in the city. And when I realized what she was getting out of this, were you worried like I was that maybe she had poisoned Dad?
She's had so many opportunities to poison him.
Yeah.
If she has, he just is resilient.
Yeah. Oh, this might be a situation where she has been poisoning him for years and years, but he's just built up
immunity to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that would be nice. That'd be a nice family story. Now, of course, you're not alone, Dad. You're with your sheepdog, Albert. Is Albert good company?
He's very good company. He happens to be outside right now, even though it's dark. He's so popular and friendly that everybody that comes up, we live on the top of a hill on a cul-de-sac, but every UPS man, garbage man, FedEx guy, everybody that walks up the hill, every child that lives on the street has to stop and play with them and spend some time with them. So even the fact that some people might walk at night with their dogs, he's out there waiting for them right now.
That's really... Now, Mom, you've shared with us recently your concern about how much Dad is talking to Albert.
Well, it's beyond.
So what's a normal conversation that you'll hear between Dad and the dog?
I love you more than anything. You're the sweetest thing I've ever met. He'll be saying this...
Within earshot? Are you within earshot?
I'm laying right next to him in bed. And I reach over, I think he's talking to me, and I feel Albert's head.
That must be very jarring.
It is jarring.
Now,
Josh,
jarring. You were leaving tomorrow morning to go back to L.A. To celebrate with your girlfriend Mackenzie and your dog Debbie.
Yeah.
Now, Debbie is not a purebred dog.
She's not, no.
But she's very photogenic.
Yeah.
Now, where did you come across Debbie?
We found her on the street.
She's a rescue, and not a rescue you got at a shelter. You were the actual rescuer in this case.
Yeah, we found her. Yeah, found her on the street.
And they both dress up very well. Here's Mackenzie and Debbie, who are
couple beauties.
Couple of beauties right there. Very lucky to have you coming home. We had a very nice trip this summer in August. We went and saw our alma mater, Northwestern, play in Dublin, Ireland, and we went to a football game. At a beautiful, I should say, Irish stadium. But then something happened, Dad, it was as if Mom wished it to happen.
Oh.
Yeah, this was really something. There were 43,000 people there, and it was a no-cash stadium. So you only could pay for beer or food with a credit card. And 43,000 people were there for this event, and the credit card processor goes down. So they had no way to accept any credit card payments, so they gave everybody free beer.
And I should note, here's a photo you took of Mom. And Josh, what do you call this technique that she's doing there?
That is double fisting. Double fisting. She was offered a beer, and she's like, yeah, I'll take one. And it was like, well, you still have a beer. She's like, yeah, I'll take one.
I also should note, looking at this photo, this is a very good way for me to pose my chin, I think. I should do that. I should do that for my next round of headshots. Now, Josh, is it rare for you to see your mother double fisting? Have you ever seen it since?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. As we arrived, there was a soccer game, the U.S.'s first soccer game in the World Cup, and we had some friends who were at a bar, and there was an open bar. So I told Mom, do you want to just come straight from the airport and meet me there? And she was like, yes, I will. And she got a gin and tonic, and then there was a nice guy who's like, I'm going to the bar, can I get you something? She still had half a gin and tonic, but she was like, I'll take a gin and tonic. There wasn't a long line at the bar, and he came right back, and I was like, do you want me to put one of those down for you? And she said, no, I'm good.
So this is just from, that's from Monday, double fisting again.
Yeah.
Hey, no, wait a minute. This is an open bar.
Okay.
I think that
Nobody
explains
worries
it.
that you're bad with money. No one's sitting here going like, could she afford 2 gin and tonics? You're missing the whole point here.
When they're free, I take them.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. In this economy, you gotta.
You gotta.
I will say my favorite, one of the wonderful things about being in Dublin was how charming our many taxi drivers were. And now, Mom, would you agree that maybe one of the knocks on you over the years is that you ask a lot of questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing that you've been told a lot by the men in your life is that you
Yeah.
ask a lot of questions. And you know, we love our mom very much. And so we try not to be too harsh about the fact that maybe the incessant questions are a little tiring. But we got into a taxi in Dublin, and you slid into the back seat, and you said very loud enough for the cab driver to hear, obviously. You said, I have a lot of questions about what we're doing today. And our Dublin cab driver, this is within 5 seconds of meeting my mom, said, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do today. Step 1, I'm going to drop you off at a pub. Step 2, you're going to stop asking so many feckin' questions. It was like an Irish angel.
Yeah. Shut her down.
He shut her down.
Shut her down before she
You
get
gave him a
going.
big laugh, though.
I did. I
I
did.
think there was something he clocked that you would be the kind of person who would enjoy a burn like that.
Yes, yes.
Now, Dad, I know you and Josh golfed a fair amount in Ireland, and I know you have a story, a golf story.
An Irish golf story?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I definitely, I have a lot of golf stories,
Okay.
first of all. And I think that, you know, one of the best golf stories I had was that when we were in Ireland, I had never seen a golf course before because every time I went there for business, I was always in the city.
What happened? What'd you do?
I muted him.
What?
Yeah. I can't hear this story again. I've heard it 50 times.
You're not allowed to mute Dad.
I'm sorry. 52 years. I've had enough.
I mean, he's having a really good time telling it.
He really is.
Now, don't tell. You guys have heard this one.
I don't know. It's kind of more fun when you just hear his face.
This is story number 41 on my list.
You know what? Why don't we let him wrap it up? We'll take a commercial. We'll be right back with more from the Myers family.